first, I want to apologize for not showing up last week. Basically, I was at a party. I was at a party last week, so I couldn't really show up. So apologies for that. Um, but this week though, we'll start off by doing some market analysis, checking what's going on in the market. So I haven't really traded for a while, been very busy. But let's look at some of the analysis of what's most likely we should expect today.
Are you going to?
All right. Hold on, guys. I'm just
It was
connecting
missing.
if you have any questions or you have something to say, just you can just type it up in the chat box, and I'll answer you immediately from there. Yeah, I figured. So I increased the volume a little bit from the microphone. Yeah, I muted everyone. Can you hear me better now? I hope it's better now. I hope it's much better. All right. Okay. So let's get right into it. Okay, good. So, I mean, crypto has been doing this stuff. A lot of people have been trading crypto. A lot of people have been getting beat down from crypto. So I don't know if you guys have been trading crypto, but this fall was expected a long time ago. The fall was meant to happen a long time ago. I think from the start of January or something was when we are expecting the fall, but it didn't happen. So, but we didn't really look at crypto as an option to trade. So, but in terms of regarding when to buy back, I still want to wait for price to go around the 30K region or maybe slightly below it before we go into that. But that's a story for another day. So just gonna jump straight into analysis because I haven't done any analysis in a while. So let's start off with the COT report. I noticed someone in the other chat room said they wanted me to run through the ATR one more time. I don't know if the person is here right now. So if um if you need me to run through the ATR one more time, just post that up, and I would try my best to re-explain what the ATR does and how to use it. So let's start off with the COT report. Let's see what gold is saying first. Okay. Let's duplicate this as well. Get seasonality loaded on the other one. All right. And this is taking its time to load. All right. Just waiting for these sites to load up, and then we can properly start the analysis. Get that on here as well. All right. The connection seems to be slow for some random reason. Okay, so looking at the seasonality for gold, we can see they're taking out positions from the long side and putting more positions towards the short side. If we have a correlation also in the gold seasonality, we can then look for possibly a place to go in for the sell. So, right, right about now, we don't really need to look for any sell placements because the sell isn't actually ripe till about here on the 6th. But even with that 6, the 5 years hasn't been, it doesn't really look like proper alignment. The most alignment we're going to find is on the 19th of next month for the gold to sell. So with this one, I'm just going to scrap this analysis with the, with that one, with the gold trade. Let's check CHF, see what CHF is saying. Load that up here as well. So CHF is saying we have more position added to the downside, a little bit into the upside, but these guys are going long, so which means I'm sticking with these guys more going south. So let's see what that does. See if we get any alignment with the CHF on the downside. Okay. Right, so 15th. Now there isn't any real down alignment. Funny enough, this is showing up alignment. Yeah, we'll get to Euro in a second. Just going through them set by set to see which one has a good alignment first before we then jump into it. With the CHF, we've actually seen a buy alignment coming into play rather than a sell alignment. So there's a buy coming into play rather than a sell, in which we're expecting the sell. So it's kind of mimicking the non-commercial. So for that reason, we have two that's not alignment. This is saying sell, this is saying buy. So we probably just have to ignore that and just move to the next one. Let's go to JPY. Let's see what JPY is saying next. Just want to find alignment in both. Once we can find alignment in both, we'll probably be fine. Let's see if we can get anything. CHF is showing us a short, and let's see if we get short in this. This is also showing long. And it's actually showing to go long from today. Now, this is where the challenge really comes in. If we are to ignore the strategy and look for a trade based on our own perception of price action, or just stick with the strategy. I recommend sticking 100% with strategy. It's best to find pure alignment before you decide to go into a trade, because that way it has lesser risk, risks to it. So let's go for the next one, euro. So someone said we should check euro, um, yeah, euro NZD. So with the euro, whoa, they added 10,000 new position to the short side and also had a position to the long side. So um, this could be a little bit challenging with the euro. Let's see what happens with the seasonality on it. Hopefully there might be an alignment going down with this. So no, same exact same thing is showing up right here. So everything looks as if so far, I mean, so far from what I've seen, everything looks as if it's out of alignment with the seasonality. So the COT report is looking for the short side, but seasonality is looking for the long side. So that's kind of misalignment right there. So just gonna go to the USD quickly. Might probably come back to the rest anyway later to see if we get a good alignment. If we don't get a good alignment, to see what we can actually find out. So let me. Oh wow, this is very very small. Only 74 to the buy side. I mean, we tend to ignore these guys anyway. So let's see. Um, Look, when we're looking for shorts, we're getting longs. So this is actually telling us to sell USD. Wow. This is telling us they're adding small, a little bit more position to the buy side. I mean, overall though, we can see that they're all overall short. But I like to see the changes that happened just of recent. So I mean, the next data is not going to be out until we started trading, which is on Tuesday. So we might have to wait till Tuesday and just come back to come check on this and see what's happening. But so far, what we can see here doesn't look encouraging at all to trade. So I'm going to exit that. And oh wow, this is very close. This is giving me long position and also short position simultaneously on the CAD. So let's check. And I might seem to be moving very fast with this analysis. It's kind of like nature now. I already know what I'm looking for, so I will just go directly for what I'm looking for. So what I can see in the CAD is that there's the buying power coming into the CAD, but then it's telling me more position out to the short side. This one, for example, because the difference is just 600 and less than 600, actually about 500 and some difference in this, I might still consider this trade, but I want to find if there's any alignment first before I come back to this. So I might consider the long position in this based on COT report is telling us to go short, but they're also adding positions to the upside as well. The non-commercials are not really fully aligned with themselves. So therefore, what I'm gonna do is I might come back to that and see maybe we can find a proper alignment with the CAD pair. Now I'm just gonna leave that open and then I'm gonna go to GBP. Let me see what they're saying in GBP. They're putting more position to the short side, adding more taking away position from the long side. So let's see. If this aligned, this might be a good one, even though GBP is one of them assets that you have to be extremely careful about. All right, so they're going short. For some weird reason, this week just seems like nothing wants to align this week. I mean, with this one, it's meant to go up, but the 40 years doesn't even agree with the buying side of it. Yeah, I'm looking at the date right, so it doesn't align. I'm not gonna take the risk with you guys with it. If something doesn't really work, I don't want to push you onto it. You know, it's better we are safe than being sorry later on about it. So now AUD is putting more position to the long side, taking more position away from the short. So let's see what they got. Right, we found one. So AUD is going more long. They're adding 1,915 position into the long side, taking out position from the short side, while these guys are adding position to the short side. So leaving the long side. So AUD, for example, now looks like an alignment because from the first, right, which is 2 days from now, we can see that buy alignment up until the 7th, right there. So what I'm gonna do in this instant is I'm gonna check the probability, right? And look for which probability that shows that AUD is going to be going up. Okay. So that's literally what I'm looking for now. The probability that shows that AUD is going up against any pair. So let's go through it one by one. So go to AUD CHF first, and let me just open AUD JPY down. AUD down. Okay. So so in May, so we're looking for June. So from the AUD CHF, we got that June buying power, buy. We got 3 days buy straight. If we look at the what's it called? The seasonality, we can see that buying power coming there for those 3 days straight as expected. So that's good. That's actually very good. Um, that's very good alignment. Just getting the remote control. So that's very good alignment. Apologies, I think I must have disconnected for a second. It's coming back. So AUD CHF, we're going for the buy from first 6 1. So we're buying from there and we're looking to exit at least maximum exit point should be the 7th, right? Before we get that consolidation coming into play. So if we look at it, we got that pullback right here. And then let me see, we got that buy. So exit, we can actually exit on Monday, but for the early guys, you can exit on Wednesday, but we can exit on Monday. So we can exit on the 7th. You know, so we can exit on the 7th. That's fine for the guys. So the CHF, so that's looking good. I mean, what we can also do is look for the next AUD. I see AUD JPY. You guys also feel free to write this down. So it's something that you can write down to make sure that, you know, you're getting it. Like AUD JPY now gives like a consolidation on the first day, then a buy, consolidation, then a buy. I quite frankly I won't wanna go for this. So I'm just gonna take it off. We're playing it safe. So in June, since Euro comes before AUD in this one, so what we're gonna look for is the sell of Euro dumping. So we got that first 2 days, then we got that pullback. I mean, this one can be traded, but this one will come with a more to medium risk. So the risk will be medium/high because the third day we don't get that third day, but we can also trade that. So Euro AUD. So we can short that quick. 4 7. So you have to watch out for the consolidation on you know, between the third and between the third and fourth, basically. Okay, so that's that one, and let's go close that quickly. So we can then check AUD USD, AUD CAD, AUD NZD. I mean, from the looks of it, anyway, from the what's it called? From the seasonality of most of these ones, they're going down on the seasonality aspect, so it makes it much better for us anyway. So let's go check June again. So with AUD USD, we're looking for a buy because AUD comes before that. So So we can actually buy this. The buy comes in from the second. We can hold that from that. So we can do this. All right. Instead of the first, so this becomes the second. USD. So we can buy that from the second. So basically, overall, what we're expecting is AED to have strength this week compared to every other asset. So let's check this as well. So, right, this is also looking straight. This is actually looking more like a lower risk because AUD, CAD. And if we quickly run through the CAD seasonality chart anyway, what we can notice, I remember I was looking at the CAD also, I was looking at the CO2 report for the CAD. Yeah, they had that short and that long simultaneously. So if we go to that seasonality of it, what we can see is actually this is going up. So we have two assets like looking to go up, but because of the COT report is telling us to face down uh, based on the AUD saying, oh, AUD is going to become more stronger with the COT report. So which means these guys should go down. But the COT report for CAD tends to say, go down more than it says go up. So it's kind of more in our favor in this one. So what we're gonna do is with the AUD CAD, same thing goes. So AUD CAD. I know that it seems a little bit more risky because it's just one asset we're looking at right now compared to the rest of the assets. If that one asset doesn't come true, then most likely all the trades won't come true. But in most cases, then none the asset does actually fall through the way it's expected to. So the next one will be GBP AUD and then AUD NZD. And I still remember, I mean, someone told me to check the Euro NZD. I'm still remember to go check it. I haven't just got to the seasonality part. It's the one next. So I'm going to get back to that in a second. All right, so we're going to check AUD NZD, then GBP AUD, right? So AUD NZD, let's see what that's saying. So AUD comes first. I mean, what I can see is sells on the first day, then go up, then consolidate. So I would rather say, we go in on the second, just like AUD USD, right? AUD USD. All right, so you have to watch out for consolidation on the 4th, I think. Yeah, so watch out for consolidation on the 4th if you're choosing that. So, I mean, I'm writing all this trade down, right, for you guys, so you can actually pick any of the pair that you feel that is most comfortable for you. All this pair looks the highest probability of going in these directions. So you just have to pick the one that you think is best for you and then just, focus on that one. All right, let's check GBP AUD and let's see what that's saying. So GBP AUD, because of GBP comes first, so we're looking for GBP to sell, to dump. So GBP AUD looks good in terms of selling till the 4th. So what we can also do is put that down. Yes. So GBP AUD should be a sell. From 1st to about 4th, okay? No, actually, wrong thing. So from 1st to about the 4th, right? So that would become right. Hold on. I'll get to that later anyway. So so that will become that on that one. So running through the pairs for the AUD, that's all completed. That's concluded. So we'll just go to the NZD now and see what we can find on the NZD. So let's check the COT report for the NZD. See what we can find on that. Also check. So ideally, what we're looking for should be a buy. All right, we're looking for a buy on that. So if we see a buying power on the NZD, then we might be good. Wow, there's literally no momentum in the NZD at all. It's like these guys have zero interest in the NZD right now. So, right. So I would actually bank more on this trade going my direction, because these guys literally doesn't seem to be interested in NZD at all. So that leaves us to check in, these assets, for example, like AUD So we can go up and check CHF. I know I don't really use TradingView. I just thought I'd do something different today. So bear with me. It's been a while I've actually used TradingView. So with this, for example, so AUD right? What we can see on the daily, it's been consolidating around this region, right? So this region has been consolidating, and what we want ideally is we want to buy this asset, right? So what we're looking for is the buy angle, and the buy comes in on the 1st, which should be on Tuesday, right? So actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, 1st should be on Tuesday. Yeah, that's correct. So basically what we can do is highlight where we think that, price is most likely going to get to before we then consider, uh where our entry might be. So just looking at this right here, this spot right here seems to be a support region, because if you look at it, right, you see price left and went up and broke out of this region, came back to retest this region, broke out of this region, almost retested this region, which is here, the tip right here. Didn't do that. So right now it's gone all the way far, and now it's retested that region, right? This region has already been retested and has already given support. So there's a high probability that this same region will give it support one more time when it comes in. So when you're doing trend lines and you have those 3 bounces on the trend line, the guys that use trend line, for example, let me see if I can find trend line to do a description for you. So for those guys that use trend lines and that do their trend line like that, that 1, 2, 3 bounce kind of thing, right? So let me see. I'm trying to just trying to draw something just to make sense. So right, like the first bounce comes here, right here, and then price left, and your second bounce comes here, right? See that second bounce, and then price went and then left. Now price has broken away from that region, right? So what we can expect is the same thing right here. The same concept applies on the horizontal level and also on the vertical level, in which when price left this region right here, price left this region right here, that's this first bounce, and then the second bounce, not like the second bounce. Let me redraw that so it makes more sense. So let's say the trend line was like this, something like this, right? This thing is sticking. So let's say the trend line was something like this, right? Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm really not familiar with TradingView that much. I just came on it and I can't be bothered to go on MT4. So the first one went like this. So this will be your first initial point. Then this is your second point. Then this is your third point, your fourth point, fifth point. So with this one, for example, this would be our first point right here. Then our second point is right here. Then our third point is coming. So it's like first point, second point, third point, right? So which is first point, which is the breakout. It's inverse. It looks down rather than looking up. Then second point right here. Then our third point is expected somewhere right there. So just the same concept as the trend line, but on horizontal level. And with horizontal, sometimes it gets flipped on its own head. Okay. If there's any question on that, just tell me and I'll try to re-explain another way to make it much more understandable. So with that, for example, with the AUD CHF, I would rather wait for price to get to somewhere around this region to then decide to go in for the long of this trade. Okay. Now let's look at Euro AUD. So Euro AUD, let's see what that has for us. And so with Euro AUD, we're looking to sell Euro and we're looking to go short from first, right? So on Tuesday, right, what we look at is where the resistance point has been. So if we look at this, for example, what we can see is there's resistance around this level and the resistance is playing perfectly fine. So from what I can see, there isn't, the other resistance that is in sight would be here, right? Around here, right there. And when price broke away from that, it retested it. So we call that point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, almost left it, but didn't leave the candle, the entire candle size. So price went back down, and now it's coming back to retest it one more time. Now keep in mind, when price does a retest of the same region that it broke out before, every time it tests that part's become weaker. So it's already done in 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's going for number 5, right? So if anything at all, I would wait for the number 5 test region to appear before I even consider going to the straight. And keep something in mind. You always want to go in at the wick. So if we're going on Tuesday, for example, if the body of the candle open around this green line, you want it to first look at it's going up. Then once it touches here, and then you get your position. So even if price goes further, you still have more leverage to your stop loss. And if price then decides to start coming down, you're perfectly in at the wick section. So you'll probably be somewhere at the tail section of it while price comes down. Keeps you more safe, because when price comes back and retest, let's say you went in on the trade somewhere around this tail right here. When price came to retest right here, it stuck to the body. It didn't really get to the tail. Most of the time, price doesn't really get to that tail when you get your entry right, or the date that you're meant to go in right. And what tends to happen is price goes the opposite direction. So with the Euro AUD, that would be an ideal spot to look for an entry as well. So let's check AUD USD. USD. All right. Let's see what AUD USD are for us. So AUD USD, we're meant to go in on the 2nd. So that's on a Wednesday. All right. And from what I can see with this one, uh, the resistance point seems to be somewhere around here. I mean, it's pretty obvious anyway, because the resistance point is always a point, or no, with this one, actually, we're looking for support. The support point is actually right here. The support point is actually resistance. It was prior to that was resistance that's flipped into support. So right here at one point, price struggled to break out of there, right? Once price broke out of that region, price hasn't retested that region back. And anytime price breaks out of a region, guess what? Price always comes back to retest that region, then decide to go back in their direction, in the original direction. And what we can see right now is price has broken out of this region a while ago in April the 14th, and price is now coming back to retest that region to then find support. So in this instance, for example, let's call this point 1, right? If we call this point 1, price broke out of that first point, it's about to set a second point according to the trend line analysis that I showed you earlier. The people that do trend line should know this. That 1 2 3 pattern that we find on trend lines, which is point 1, point 2, point 3. So in this case, we have point 1 right here. We're about to set point 2, which means if we set point 2, point 3 is going to take place somewhere in the near future, which would be ideal for it. Okay, to go. Now keep in mind, this analysis today is slightly different from the normal analysis that I do, because right now I'm using TradingView. Normally I use the MT4 platform. I have the EMAs in play, the 2050 and the 200 EMAs in play. Right now I do not have them in play. I can put them in. I just decided, you know what, let me just do something a little bit different from a change, just to keep things exciting and not boring. So right from what I can see right there, right here, point 2, once point 2 occurs, there's possibility of point 3. But if you guys are trading on MT4, get your EMAs in place so you can even see it much better than what I'm looking at right here. There might be a EMA line trying to push price up, or there might be a EMA line above it trying to push price down, and you might have to wait for that price to break that EMA first before you consider trading. Okay. So that sets it for AUD USD. Everything looks pretty much straightforward at this point, because you can all you need to do is just look for a support region and then go into the price. Okay. And then next thing we'll do is AUD CAD. All right. And if anybody have questions, you can type it up down there. I'll get in touch with your question. And for the guy that had the question about the Euro NZD, that trade doesn't seem to be in a proper alignment right now. So really and truly, it isn't really worth it, to go into it, because there isn't that alignment that you're looking for. Right. So with the AUD CAD, we're going in same concept on the first. Right. Looking at this one seems to be a little bit more tricky than the other ones, because the and support zone is not really inside. The earliest support zone I can find is right here. But keep something in mind, price is currently on support. So what we can see is price could open a little bit with a gap to the upside, play around here on Monday, and does not give you any entry at all on Monday, right? And then on Tuesday, take off from this region. Price could just easily just take off from this region and never gets here. But ideally, if price breaks out of this region on Monday, you just have to observe on Monday, price is coming below and price ends up somewhere here on Monday. I bet you price is most likely going to do a double bottom right here and then start going back up. Okay. As simple as you just want to wait to see what price is doing and then take the trade. Okay. Cool. So with this one also, it's quite straightforward. If price opens and consolidates around this region and stays above this region on Monday, then most likely you just go down to your 4-hour chart, look for the nearest support region, and then use that to enter on Tuesday. But if price comes down on Monday, most likely, I bet you more, price from this point, from this double bottom point, is most likely going to go up or slightly below it to just rate the people that got in here. But this has been a very, very long day. So looking to rate people here would almost be not ideal. So it's most likely going to do a double bottom and go all the way back up. And we got AUD NZD next. All right. Let's see what AUD NZD got to say. So the same concept apply. We're buying for AUD NZD. Looking at it straight up, I can see the support region right here, right? From this region right here, you can see price already has come to that region for support. So most likely price is going to end up opening, most likely coming back down a little bit, or might even go up a little bit. If price goes up a little bit of hurrah to us. And which date are we going on this? On the 2nd. So we have to wait to Wednesday on this. If price goes up around here, then most likely somewhere around here will be our entry point. Okay, and if you have an EMA in line, you can, maybe an EMA might be below it, for example, and you can just use that EMA as a point of reference to go in. So, but what I would do is I'll wait for till Wednesday. If price comes down, then price entry most likely is going to be around here, or maximum around somewhere around here. Okay, so if price ends up going down, further down, I'll wait and see what price does here. If it's not Wednesday yet, I would ignore it. I'll come back on Wednesday. If price is somewhere around here, I go in around here. If I come on Wednesday and price is actually above here somewhere, I want to go in somewhere around the tip of this candle right there. Okay, right. So, and we have the GBP AUD. Okay, so GBP AUD, we're looking to sell this one in this instant because of GBP should be getting weaker, right? And because AUD is getting stronger, GBP should get weaker. So what we can also see right here is there's a few spots that we have to keep in mind. So I think we've already had the double top right there. Let me just zoom this. There's something similar to double top, right? Right here, we've already had price come there and price has left that region. What price is doing is actually price is bang on a resistance zone right here. It's literally bang on a resistance zone right here. But what I would like to see with this one is I don't like to play with GBP. GBP is an asset I don't like to play. I don't play rough with it. Since I'm expecting to go short on Tuesday, what I would do is I'll ideally ultimately wait for price to come below here. You see this point right here? I'll wait for price to come below there. And then once price is below, I go on a smaller time frame, wait for price to retest that zone. Then I short it. And I short it and I put my my stop loss above this region if price did not end up going above it. If price ends up going above it, what I will still do is I will still wait for price to close below this region. This is GBP, guys. I don't play with this asset. I'll wait for price to close below here, then do exactly the same thing. But this time around, my stop loss will be much, much bigger because wherever the tail is on the next candle, if it's up here, it will be behind that. If the price comes down here, then my stop loss will be right here. Okay, so that literally sums it up for today's analysis. It's quite quick. I know it's very much a lot of information to take into your mind in this very short time period. So what I can do is if you have any questions, you can quickly type that up and I can answer that question ASAP. And then I can leave you guys be and you can go analyze this. Okay, does anyone have any questions or anything to say about this analysis? No? Yes, maybe. please feel free. Don't be shy. You know, if you don't understand something, please ask me to explain. I know someone told me to explain about the ATR in the chat room. I don't know if the person's here. I think the person's called Amos. And just for Amos' sake, and if Amos is right here right now, if not here, I might watch the replay. ATR literally means the average true range, and that's the average of price in a specific time period. So if we had 14 candles, that would be the average of price in the 14 candles. What that does for us is it helps us, that average helps us understand how far that price is going to go within the next couple of days, right? And we use it to set our stop loss and sometimes I'll take profit. So if it gives me, the ATR value gives me 52 pips at this 14 price range, I want to set my stop loss at 52 pips. I recommend you use your ATR value on a 4-hour time frame minimum, or a daily time frame. That'll be better. Yeah, I mean, I haven't checked the correlation, Mr. Abiola. I haven't checked the correlation, but if you've spotted that correlation, then if GBP NZD is doing exactly the same thing as GBP AUD is doing, then most likely, yeah, so that most likely GBP is going to go for the sell on GBP NZD as well. You know, they'll probably go for dumps on both, but I don't think the correlation is 100%. You know, there will probably be a difference in ranges in their correlation, but I haven't checked that in a long time. I haven't checked the correlation meter in a long time. I do have correlation on the website somewhere, but I haven't really gone and check it, you know. So it is something, it is something that is good, but no, like this is just correlation for certain asset like the DAX, you know. The CAC and stuff shows like some of the assets have 90% correlation, some have 99% correlation. So for example, the CAC on this one and the Euro stocks right here at 99% correlation. But this is for the stock guys anyway. This is not for Forex guys. So this is totally something different that I have right here on the website. So yeah, that's that basically. Um, so we literally have less than 1 minute, guys. So I really thank you guys for attending. I sincerely apologize for last week that I couldn't attend last week, and I didn't really give any message. That was totally my wrong. I had in my mind I was going to leave a message, and I keep forgetting because I was so busy. I really apologize for that, and thank you for joining today's session. I'll put the replay on YouTube so you can watch. Take care of yourself, guys. God bless you all. Bye bye. All right. Thank you, Jonah. Take care. Bye.